Okay, audio. uh, oh, all right. Welcome to the Tin Roof Podcast. If you're watching the video version, yes, I am holding my microphone, much like I did at some point last week, just because audio issues still seem to be continuing, and uh, yeah, we'll figure out a way to get through it. But at least I have something that kind of helps improve audio. Uh, but Today's episode is brought to you by W Energy Drink, W.GG. And guys, I really, really like it a lot. It's extremely tasty. They got so many great flavors. They've got some really cool logos on their shaker cups. They have it's called a sports drink, and it's kind of like Gatorade or something, but it's in a powder. So you put it in, much like you would their energy drink, into your shaker cup, shake it up, and uh, yeah, they're really tasty too, because like they've got like a lemonade one that's fantastic. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. My apologies. uh, but if you put in the code stories10, you'll get 10% off. But if you do this today, when this episode drops on April 11th, you can put in the notes WB Day, and you will get a special item that's free put into your order. And Anthony, the owner of WGG, or well, just W, but W.GG is their website. Anthony will put in a special gift for you guys. This is to celebrate their 3rd year as a company. Pretty big deal in the energy drink world, so definitely go support them. And then wanted to remind you guys, we got the Tin Roof playlist over on Spotify. Definitely go check it out and listen to some good music. So today's episode is not exactly what I wanted it to be, but it's gonna be all right. I woke up this morning and I'm just feeling a bit of a drain, uh, but I think it'll be a good one. I think we can still have some fun. Welcome to the Tin Roof podcast, not the playlist. The playlist is not here, but yeah, we're gonna talk some music and we're gonna have a good time. I've got a plan for next week's episode. I just didn't get a chance to do it for this one. So we are going to be talking mainly music this one. I think we're going to be all over the place with the next one. So we will start things off with talking about new Motley Crue music. Nikki Sixx made a post on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, saying new Motley Crue material is right around the corner, and it's being hailed as a powerful cross between country and hip hop. Well, why on earth would you say that is a powerful mix between country and hip hop? Listen, there's only like a handful of people that could make that work, because like country rap was not a good thing, and were looked at as silly for a long time. But then you had guys like Ryan Upchurch, Adam Calhoun, Broadnax, and a handful of other guys that came along and made it legit. And we're doing things in a way that is extremely different than the way it had been done before. And it turned out to be good. Uh, but if you're Motley Crue, you're not going to do that good. Not trying to be a jerk or condescending or rude or any whatever. But let's look at the facts. You're Motley Crue. But if you're Motley Crue, you know what you're good at. You're good at doing things that are, that classic version of metal that are, well, you're really well known for. And you have just recently hired John Five as one of your guitarists, a former guitarist for Rob Zombie. So he is incredibly talented on a guitar, but to do a country hip hop album would not 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 be a good idea, especially like whenever you go to a live show already. Vince Neil is already extremely hard to understand, so I don't know why we would try to make him rap. That just seems like a bad idea. I do want to say that the new Five Finger Death Punch album is very much like what it used to be. Kind of reminded me a lot of their first album, but there was a lot of songs that I just didn't want to listen to. Unlike the first album, I really love the first album. This one, I was just like, to a lot of them. Uh, their stance on a few things is not the same as my stance on a few things, especially when it comes to religion, and so I just kind of stay away from it. But uh, let's look at some more music news. A thing that came along just recently was a interview with Brian Head Welch from Korn about how they use 7-string guitars as opposed to the typical 5-string, and the idea had said was actually from Monkey, because Monkey was really getting into jazz and whatnot as far as an influence, and Steve Vai uses a 7-string, and Steve Vai a while back actually credited Korn with the revival of the uh, 7-string guitar, because of what they did with it was unlike what anybody else at the time had been doing with it. I'm sure that there's other bands out there right now that use 7-string guitars. I'm obviously Korn has a different sound than what other bands sound like, but I can't tell just by listening to them. It's a 5-string, it's a 7-string. Somebody has to tell me, because I'm not gifted in music. I'm extremely appreciative of music and the art that it is. For me, it's a lot about the lyrics and everything. But obviously, Tin Roof was started because I love music, and especially country and metal. And like, there's guys out there touting that they're country and metal bands like combined together, which that mix is good. And it can be done in a very, very well way. But the whole point of this is the idea of like country and metal being mixed together. Thus, we have the Tin Roof, which I've explained on here before. So I'm just beating a dead horse with that one. It's got to be really cool for Korn that they get complimented by somebody that inspired them. Uh, and it's not the first time, because they've been complimented by the Red Hot Chili Peppers because of Feel These slap bass. And just like to think about what Korn has been able to accomplish, as well as some other bands, but especially the Korn guys, like, it's really cool to see what Korn has been able to do, because they've been able to do things that not many other bands have been able to do. Like Ray, their drummer, got to play with uh, the Seattle Seahawks drum line and do Blind, which was really, really cool. And then, they've been featured in TV shows and mentioned on things, like they were on Monk, which I thought was really entertaining. They they've gotten to do some just neat stuff because of being them. Uh, so that's pretty cool. But let's look at some more music news. So Jelly Roll's plane actually had to make a emergency landing on their way to the CMT Music Awards. Bunny made a video. Bunny, being his wife, made a video on TikTok saying, "When the private jet you're in just stopped midair, turned around and said we had to land because of a malfunction." I've had an airplane scare before myself. They're not fun, so I can only imagine like how scary that could be. Um, yeah, airplanes is not where you want to malfunction, but glad that they're all okay. Um, that's the important part. So Colt Ford suffered a heart attack during a concert in Arizona, which is weird because I'm not mistaken. Like, obviously people have heart attacks everywhere, but if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Smith, the comedian, had a heart attack in Arizona too, which is just like ironic that two uh, artists, so to speak, had heart attacks in a similar vicinity. Yeah, in Arizona. So that's kind of wild that they both had heart attacks in similar areas. Uh, but he is okay. He is resting at a hospital. Uh, article reads, this is from the New York Post. Country music star Colt Ford suffered a heart attack after his concert in Arizona Thursday night. Ford, being 53, had just wrapped up his set at Dirks Bentley's Whiskey Row, a restaurant and nightclub named after the hit singer, in Gilbert, Arizona, when he experienced a medical emergency, according to press release. The working on singer was transported to Banner Desert Medical Center in Mesa, where he was placed in the ICU. He was later transferred to the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale. So when you go to the Mayo Clinic, this is something that I recently learned from a friend of mine. Like, the Mayo Clinic is where you go when things are a little bit more difficult to take care of. So it did get a little serious there for a minute, but he went to the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale. He remains in stable but critical condition, so they're worried about something. But sounds like he's getting really, really good care, so that's good. And we here at Tin Roof wish you a speedy recovery, Colt. Fun facts about Colt Ford that I did not know is that he was originally a professional golfer on the nationwide tour before he found out that he wanted to make country and hip hop music. This going back to the Motley Crue thing. Colt Ford is like one of those guys too that did a really good job, because like that song "Working On" is fantastic. I really don't have much more for you guys, and I'm actually running out of time, so we're gonna wrap it up here. The next episode will be a lot better. I apologize. I'm just not feeling it today. I'm kind of struggling with a few things, so just some drain, and I will be ready to go with the next one. And thank you for listening or watching or whatever, and hope you all have a happy Monday, and we will see you right back here under the tin roof next Monday.